Are you working right now?
Yeah, I am working right now.
Currently, I'm in between jobs.
Actually, I'm currently still a student.
Yes, I'm working, I'm doing freelancing.
How much money do you save?
I think I save about a few hundred a month.
I save about 1,000 Singapore dollars every month.
I save around 1,000 to 1,500.
So about 1,000 plus.
40 up to 40%.
On average, maybe like 20 or 10, barely anything.
Hi, I'm Edward, and welcome back to #Adulting, a new series teaching you life hacks to be financially secure. This is the second episode, and we're talking about your savings. In episode 1, we showed you this. And at the end of the episode, some of you were like, money is not a problem. The problem is no money. Or, lol, I got no money. How to save? It's true. That is a problem. So if you're someone who's got really little money in your bank account, or you're only just starting work, or you're working in a job that doesn't pay very much, this episode is for you. Here's a thought experiment. What if I told you I had a magic box, and every $1,000 you put into it right now would turn into $5,000 by the time you retire? How much money would you put into the box?
Probably put like half my savings inside.
So if it multiplies to 5,000, I'll definitely put in 2,000 and above in a month.
I think I put about 40% of what I earn inside first, and see how.
I'll put like 10 to 20% of whatever amount of money I have.
What would your answer to that be? If your reply was, but I have no money, that might be true. But it's also not necessarily true. What do I mean? Let me introduce you to a concept called Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law is the idea that the demand for any limited resource will always expand to match its supply. The original idea referred to work. So, when your teacher gives you 1 week to finish your assignment, you will take 1 week. If you're given 3 days, then you'll take 3 days. We can then take this idea and apply it to money. This is the reason why it makes no sense to always delay savings until you earn more money. Lots of people will say, oh, I can start saving money when I start working a real job. But the problem here is that your demand for money will expand to match the supply of the money. Which is why I know people who earn over 5 digits a month but still complain they have no money in the bank when they live in a condo, drive a fancy car, and wear a watch that costs as much as some people's annual salaries. We talk about luxury items in episode 3. But for now, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. The problem is that if you can see money, you will spend it. And the life hack to save money is to hide money from yourself, so you cannot spend it. And at this point, I could start doing a comparison of mattress brands and tell you which one is best for hiding money in. Instead, I will do a comparison of different tins and tell you which one is best for hiding your money in. You actually want a tin that's a decent size, like the ones your grandma used to use. But then, what's that? What, her life savings got eaten by rats because she stored it in these tins? Okay then. Scratch that idea. Let's try something that's probably a bit more rat resistant. How about the modern financial system? Depending on your risk tolerance, here's 3 super mainstream ways of hiding your money from yourself. First one is the super no risk, no reward one. Banks. Why say no risk? Your first $75,000 deposited with almost all banks in Singapore is insured under SDIC. Why say no reward? Because the basic savings account interest rate in Singapore is 0.05% per annum. So you leave your $1,000 in the bank, and after 1 year they give you 50 cents. Second one is insurance, specifically endowment plans. Endowment plans are basically savings plans with an insurer rather than with a bank. They give you more interest compared with the banks, so decent reward. But the risk is that if you take it out early, before the maturity date, be prepared to lose quite a bit of money as a penalty. But wait, what about the magic box you mentioned earlier? I'm glad you asked. That particular magic box used a 4% annual compounding interest rate to turn your $1,000 into $5,000 over 41 years. And 4% just happens to be the CPF special account interest rate. If you are in Singapore, voluntarily throwing money into your CPF is an option. The reward is that there is a high interest rate and no risk. The catch, though, is that it's like the Hotel California. Once your money checks in, it can't never leave until you hit the retirement age. So, what else can get you 4% returns a year? Stocks! But it's not guaranteed. If you're willing to accept that you might lose some money along the way, regular share savings is a great way of hiding your money away with a high potential for capital growth. What's the difference between regular share savings and lump sum investing? Say you want to buy a Singapore stock that's priced at $20. If you buy one lot, that's 100 units. 20 times 100 equals $2,000. But you don't have $2,000. But you can afford to put away $100 a month, which is great because there are banks and brokers in Singapore that will allow you to buy $100 worth of that $20 stock on the same day every month. You can increase or decrease the amount you want to put in, and you can withdraw your money or stop the plan anytime. And the fees that they charge are cheaper than buying the shares in the lump sum too. So before we go, here's our final life hack for this episode. Because lots of you must be wondering about this right now. What is the right amount to save every month? Use the 50-30-20 rule as a guide. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and investments. And that's it for now. Don't forget to watch episode 3, where we talk about how to manage your money as someone who's joined the workforce and discuss how much we spend on fancy coffee and bubble tea every month. Now go adulting.
Yeah!